All right, let's see. She's been sitting for a while. Whew. All right. Well, I'm prepping the boat for tomorrow's trip, but before I go any further, I just want to show you something fun that we're going to take along. I got a new camera. Check it out. This is an underwater camera by CanFish. Now, I've been wanting an underwater camera. You guys know I do a lot of underwater shots to get action on my lures. But this camera actually connects to the end of your line, to your terminal tackle, right? To the end of your leader, the inboard end of your leader, and then is looking straight down the line at your lure or bait. And this way, we'll be able to get some nice underwater shots of, at the very minimum, the lure action, but hopefully some fish attraction. And if we're really lucky, maybe some really nice strikes. And catch some fish with this thing capturing the whole thing. Let's open the box and see what's in there. All right, I guess that's the retail packaging. Check it out. It almost looks like a lure. Wow, that looks pretty cool. This feels like aluminum, and this hard ridge on the back, where I suspect you got to do all your rigging, is definitely aluminum. The lens looks pretty wide angle. It's hard to tell, but... And you've got these stabilizing fins right here. Quick start card. I suspect charger. Get a nice braided fabric cord. Charging stand. Interesting. All right, so this is being charged wirelessly just through this little charge induction stand. That's really good because that means I don't have to have a little port that I have to worry that leaks. So we'll set it in there, and I don't know if you can see that, but while it's charging, it's got a little green light right inside the lens. Wow, this thing says it can operate as deep as 200 meters. That's crazy. And it comes with this little float that you can stick in the middle of it, and I guess it aims straight down in the water. That's pretty cool. We'll try that later, but for now, let's go fishing. The place really shows the damage. It's amazing how much still is destroyed. There's sailboats up on the shore, into the trees. There's like dock pieces everywhere. Trees are down everywhere. It's really sad. I've been coming here for years and years and years, and it's just, I've never seen it this bad. I would have liked to get here a little earlier, but I'm glad I didn't actually. It was good to know that I could see what I was doing, and there were a couple of people here, so if I needed help, I could ask for some help. But anyway, shake it off. Let's find some fish. Today is going to be mostly a topwater day. I'm testing all the colors of the topwater lures that I built a video or so ago. I'm going to try black and white first, and then we'll go to silver and gold. I'm not sure if there's any reasonable way to actually test colors like this other than having, you know, a team of people and a few months to do it. But we're going to give it a shot and see if we see any difference at all. And we'll start off with the white one. And I picked the calmest, warmest day we've had in, I don't know, like a couple of weeks. It's actually only like 55 this morning. It's been lately close to freezing in the morning. Let's see if we can scare up a bite. The water's a lot clearer than it usually is up in this little bay. You can actually see the bottom. Not sure if it shows up in the camera, but with my polarized glasses, I can see the bottom pretty clearly, and it's about 6 feet of water here, which usually in here it's like chocolate milk. My plan is, once I know I'm in an area that I'm pretty confident I usually catch fish, which this is not, I'll go ahead and throw one color, give it 5 casts, and then change up to the next color, give it 5 casts, and just keep kind of cycling through and see if I can see a pattern of action that's attributed to, that I can sort of attribute to the color. It's definitely not scientific. All right, I've gotten close to shore. I'm gonna go ahead and try a fat belly. This is just a suspending twitch bait, and see if I can attract a bite, because this usually will attract fish from around a little ways. And I like to use like a hot pink color whenever it's cloudy, but the water is clear. It seems to attract a bite. I don't know why, but it's worked pretty well in the past. This time of year, when we have a couple of really good cold snaps, tends to drive the trout inshore a little bit. It's a little early still, usually January. They're way up in the creeks and up in the river, and you just sort of abuse them because they're kind of hemmed up and hungry. But this is just a little early, and I'm hoping that there's a few big ones that are scoping out the warmer water in here. Apparently hooked something. I don't know what it is. It's kind of sticking to the bottom. I had to slow my retrieve way down. Keep forgetting it's winter. And I was doing, kind of a summertime warm water retrieve. This thing is heavy, whatever it is. I don't know that it knows that it's hooked. Yeah. Might be a little red. Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think we got a little red here. I don't think he might be slot. Oh, come on. It's definitely lethargic. Ooh, oh, it was lethargic. Come on back out from under the boat, you dog. Come on. You're gonna hang up on something. Oh, I'm drifting into the rocks. I'm gonna have to pin down. Oh man. It's like, it'd be nice to have a crew right about now. Okay, we're pinned. Don't come off. There he is. Oh, look, he's hooked in the belly here. It's just under the chin. All right, first fish. Pretty good fish. Nice. All right, easy, buddy. Easy, easy, easy. I'm sorry I woke you up. And then hooked himself a couple of places. There we go. Let's see what he's measures up to. Easy, easy. You'll end up in the water. You can't have that. He's right at 18. I'm gonna go ahead and let him go. All right, dude. Have a good life. With as lethargic as that fish was, I'm wondering if they're gonna come up to the surface at all. I think I just kind of ran that thing right by his face. Oh, well, we'll just throw this a couple more times. Maybe we can keep a red in here. See what happens. I do have to slow down my retrieve. This thing sinks really slowly, so I can just take it easy. But it is a good color for this time of year. Usually I use more natural colors, especially in the summertime when I'm moving it fast. I like to use colors that look like pilchards or finger mullet. I gotta keep telling myself to slow down. I'm still retrieving too fast. Should be just twitch, twitch, long pause. We hooked up another one. This guy has a little more life to him. Let's see what he is. What is this? Is this a bluefish? A little trout. This might be a keeper trout. It might not be a keeper, but that's a weird looking trout. That's not a trout. Look, that's a little rat red. When in doubt, guys, grab the lure, not the fish. Because if he can shake all he wants right in there and he won't embed the damn barb in me. Another little guy. We've only been fishing 15 minutes. You can really see the blue and the violets in his tail. Very pretty. All right, dude. Have a good life. So maybe as the sun gets a little higher and these clouds burn off, we'll get a topwater action. So I'm going to give the topwater a little more water time and see what happens. Switch to black. And if you hear some noise in the background, that's some knucklehead in an airboat just spinning donuts. Thank you very much. Well, I'm going to give this little area another 20 or 30 minutes. Maybe not even that much. And then we'll head out. Try to find some trout in open water. Tide's getting just a little bit low here. It's starting to expose rocks. Alright, I'm kind of looking forward to using that trolling camera. So maybe we'll head out into some deeper water, maybe something like 10, 15 feet of water. And we'll just troll, see what happens. Maybe give me a chance to eat my breakfast too. Let's go ahead and hook this thing up. I went ahead and rigged it. I set up about, it's like about a 40-inch leader line. Of course, I'm only using 30-pound test on the leader because if something hangs up, that's when I want the break. Jeez, it's rolly out here. I want this to break, not the line on the rod. So I'm going to use a rod that's got a 60-pound braid on it. And I think I'm going to use and I'll set the trolling speed to 2.6 knots, which is right at 3 miles an hour, like a fast walk. And of course you want this thing trailing with the lens backwards, not forwards. So, and I'm gonna have to put the wind guard on these cameras. Wow. We're in the waves now. Cool thing about this camera is you don't have to open it for anything. It's got a built-in memory card in it, 16 gigs, which doesn't seem like much, but I think they've got it sort of balanced for the battery life. And the only switch is this on-off switch right here. You turn it on and the camera, after a few seconds, automatically starts to record. And then to get everything out of it, you just use the app on your phone, and it's got built-in Wi-Fi, and you just download it onto your phone. I think it's genius. It's a great way to do it. You don't have to open it up ever, and unless you crack it or something, it should pretty much keep all the water out all the time. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. There it is, and I should get some indicator lights. Now it's recording. I don't have a whole lot of hope that we're going to catch anything because it's just a weird day. Worst case scenario, I get to see what kind of image we get. Gee whiz. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and let it go. I want to put it down here. So right off the bat, I'm pretty impressed with the image. The color quality is really good. If you look at the details on the grass that's going by, it actually looks very realistic, just like the colors when you see it in the sun. Since you can download this stuff right onto your phone right after you take the images, you can actually watch it while you're still on the boat. Now, I didn't want to play with my phone while I was trying to fish, so this is the first time I'm looking at it. And it's a shame the seas are so rough, because you can really see how it's messing with the ability of the camera to actually stay under the water. And the sound quality is pretty impressive too. If you do this with a GoPro, you get a bunch of background noise, the motor, everything. This thing is filtering everything out, and all you hear is the real highlight noise. So, if a fish hits this, that's what you'll hear. Otherwise, I'm pretty happy with the action on this lure. And the sound of that rattle. At this point, it's a piece of grass stuck to the camera, but you can still see pretty clearly, even in this darker water. The camera does have some built-in filler lights that turn on if it gets a little too dark, so they can fill in the light right at the target. It's still capturing a pretty good image even with this darker water. Here I had realized that I was going a little fast for the conditions, so I slowed down to about 1.5, 1.8 knots, and you can see the bottom is really good live bottom. I'm surprised we're not attracting something to come out and investigate. But the waves are still really messing with us, and every now and then the camera will actually do a barrel roll. Maybe a little more stability would be good. Here I stopped the boat so I could retrieve the lure and change it out, but you can see the camera just drops to the bottom. Kind of cool. And now I crank it back up. You can really love the action on this lure. Let's put on a smaller lure. Alright, let's go with this mullet looking one. Turn around, back into the waves. The camera will automatically segment the video into 3-minute clips, and you can extend that in the settings if you want to. So you can just leave it running the whole time. And it looks like we dropped into a black bass hotspot right here. You can see them immediately look at the camera and bang it. They're just attacking the camera. The lure is behind this, but this guy is just banging the camera. So that light on the camera, I think, is a bit of an attractant. All this time the lure is actually floating above the camera, and you can see this guy focusing in on the lure. Once the lure starts to drift downwards and starts swimming, these guys really hone in on it. This guy in particular makes a couple of hard snaps and then gets caught right here. And this is slow motion playback, believe it or not. Alright. Oh shit. I think we got something. Holy crap. Felt like there's a fish on there. Something was hitting it. Unless the camera started swimming weird. Look at that. Well, that's something. Ooh, beating the hell out of the camera. Alright, this is a black bass. And they are the most aggressive little fish. Pound for pound, these guys. No fear. Alright. And they're pretty good to eat, but this guy is tiny. Let's keep trolling. By now, the light is getting even darker, and the incoming tide was bringing in some sargasso weed. So it wasn't very long until we actually got a big clump of weed and shut this whole thing down. Now, I think we just got grass. You know, it's just as well because I'm getting beat up by these waves, and I think it's time to head back into the shallows in the protection of land and do some fishing for trout inside. And I'm happy to be getting out of these waves. They don't look like much on video, but they're exhausting. Now we'll go with silver. No! Damn it. Glad it's a floater. That's what happens when you have cold hands. Come on now. God, this guy. Alright, silver. I don't think we're going to be able to entice anything to the top. We'll see. I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of them off camera so I don't bore you guys to death. If I catch something, I'll turn the camera back on. Oh, well, I got a couple of strikes on the green one. That's the only one that's gotten a strike. Doesn't have a rattle. That might be the key, though. I'm going to switch back to one with a rattle. Let's go to the blue-hued one. Blue usually works really well out here. Let's go. There are very few days I go out and I don't get a topwater bite, but this was one of them. I got nothing on topwater except for those couple of little strikes on the green one. So I moved on to something else. Well, I switched back to my fat belly, the greenback one. I haven't had a bite. It's amazing how a day like this, when it's windy, a little bit cold, how hard it is to keep your enthusiasm. But of course, if I had an epic fishing day today, if I caught a bunch of fish and maybe some really big ones, I'd probably only want to go fishing on cloudy, windy days. Right? Well, I broke the ice with another one of these guys. Maybe that means we'll start catching fish again. We're not even in very deep water here. It's like 4 feet of water. I'm surprised we caught that guy. Alright, looks like we hooked something. Hoping it's a flounder. Feels like a flounder. Feels like a flounder. Doesn't feel very big though. Let's see. No, it's a small puppy red. Another juvenile red. And I was fishing with soft plastic. Hoping for a flounder, but didn't quite get a flounder. We're definitely in red country out here. 26 inches of water. I'm gonna put the hot pink lure back on. This is like ideal conditions for that color. I changed lures and 2 casts later. Man, I just cut off. Bummer. Either got cut off or the knot failed. No, I got cut off. Look at that. Above the knot. And I'm more upset about losing the lure than I am losing the fish. That was a nice lure. I made it a while back. It was hot pink, but it had some UV sensitive paint. I guess I'll have to watch my own video again and see how I painted it. Alright, we're going to switch over to this clown cover one here because it's about as close as I can get to that hot pink one. Bite has really just sort of disappeared. The little bit of bite we had is gone. And I'm blaming it on the slack low tide. It won't be starting to come in for a while. But I started thinking about it. Maybe I jinxed myself by bringing these things. They're plantain chips. Kind of like banana chips. But they're delicious. What do you guys think? Jinx or tide? How many of you guys actually avoid bananas on your boat? Let me know in the comments. It wasn't exactly an epic day, but it was a pretty day, and I enjoyed it out here, even though it's a little windy, a little cold, a little choppy, and the fish were just not quite cooperating. We did catch a few, and I hooked a couple other little rat reds that I didn't bother putting on video. I was hoping to take at least one good red home, and I was super surprised that I didn't catch the first trout, which is a rare occasion for me. But we'll get them next time. And if you're new to the channel, I'm usually making lures, not just fishing with them. But I like to get out here and do a little fishing with the lures that I make, just for my satisfaction and a little entertainment for you guys. And if you enjoy this stuff at all, give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, certainly subscribe. It's free, it's easy, it's fun. I'll see you all on the next video next Friday, I hope. And if you want to watch me build that lure I was trolling with, the one with the rattle in it, you can watch it right here. Just click on this icon.